Hello and welcome to SteveKnows. I hope you're doing well. We have some good news, a community win over Meta, getting back a feature that we had recently lost. We have a Quest 3 exclusive already in the wild. More VR wins, some VR losses, and so much more. We do actually have a lot to go over, so I think that is enough chin wagging. Let's get started. We are starting with today's sponsor, and I'm honoured to be doing so because it's for SideQuest, and how you can win a Quest 3 and get involved in some social VR gaming. So SideQuest is the largest content platform for standalone VR, and they have developed a game called Banter, and are offering a Quest 3 giveaway. If you've not heard of SideQuest, get involved. It gives you access to thousands of free games and unique experimental VR content. Titles like Gorilla Tag started there. So this game Banter is described as a mix of Bone Lab and virtual reality chat as a social VR platform to play games, explore worlds, and hang out with your friends. And it isn't just a VR title, there is also a 2D client available on Steam if you don't want to be in a headset all day, every day, to give you the best chance to win a Quest 3, because all you have to do is be playing the game at the point of the draw. So join the Banter Discord down below in the description, invite some friends to hang out in Banter, because Quest 3s are being given away often to random users who are online playing this game. To learn more about the ongoing giveaways, check out the Discord, and the links are down below in the description. So first, a good old classic. Oh no, I take that back from Meta, after a feature was taken away from the headset's repertoire, as the feature didn't actually have official support from Google, and I'm talking about the Chromecasting. It had some reliability issues where they could not guarantee stability, a bit like the British economy.
Strong and stable.
Does that mean you get rid of it completely? Oh no, the stereo in my car does not work all the time. I get some static hiss when listening to the radio every now and again. Chuck it out, get rid of the whole thing, no music whatsoever. But I do get they wanted to have the Quest be seen as a reliable headset, a platform that is stable. But when this happened, the community uproared, and I love that. A moment where we won, we kicked off, we screamed, we complained, to bring back a method of sharing VR experiences with the people around us. And they finally brought it back rather quickly as well. It was quite a quick turnaround. There was a statement on the forum from the community manager Ryan stating they are bringing casting back. So it said, from MetaQuest headsets to Chromecast, this feature is not fully supported. Cast to a phone or a computer instead for a better experience, because that's what you want to do when you have people around, isn't it? No, don't look at the 50-inch TV you can casually relax on the sofa and see rather clearly. Cram round and look at my 7-inch display. But amazing news to see a pretty staple feature, in my eyes at least, to share VR with people has finally come back with just 2 weeks away. It was basically a holiday, just took a small trip. Welcome back. So I want to keep the good news rolling, and this time round it's about ID Software and Team Beef. So Team Beef is a modding group that has been turning retro titles into virtual reality ports, especially those that were created by ID Software. And I love this because ID Software was co-founded by John Carmack, the ex-CTO of Oculus, a beloved man in the community who created titles like Doom and Quake, and was such an innovator in the multiplayer space. So they have reached out to Team Beef to try and make these VR ports official and bring them to the official Quest store so you guys can enjoy them. It's another story of pure triumph in the community. It makes me so proud to be a part of it. And it would mean games like Quake, Quake 2, Doom 3, Quake 3 Arena, Return to the Castle Wolfenstein would be available for all Quest players to enjoy, because they're amazing ports if you haven't tried them, but sadly at the moment, you need a PC to buy the game on Steam and then to sideload it onto the headset in order to play them. So Upload VR did reach out to Carmack, and they got some more information about what they're kind of expecting to achieve with this collaboration and pushing at Meta to get it on their stores. And Mr. Carmack said, my best case scenario would be to get all the games available on the official store as free downloads with the demo content, and IAP for full commercial datasets just like you see on Steam. He also said that I have some concerns that Meta wouldn't support putting these games on the main store because they're not designed for VR and will be uncomfortable for many people. But I would be happy just to get them on AppLab, and I agree with that because AppLab is basically the official store. You can search it, you can download it, all from the headset, you don't need a PC. It's just an additional click where you say OK when it gives you a pop-up about the game. We have a new XR chipset based upon the XR2 Gen2 chip, which is inside your Quest 3 devices. Much like the Quest Pro, it got an iteration of the Gen 1 XR2 chip, which turned into an XR2 Plus, which makes me question if Meta are going to do a mid-range series device, or is this chip going to be placed in a Pro version of a device to compete against Apple, or just nothing like that entirely. This is just speculation, but we've seen this happen before. So this new chip can actually support 4.3K per eye resolution at 90Hz and 3.7K at 120Hz. And when you compare that to the XR2 Gen 2 in our Quest, we get 3.1K at 90 and 2.7K at 120. That's a really big jump in quality. And it also supports up to 12 cameras, which would be something they could leverage to enable additional features, tracking features, and mixed reality all in one headset, which is perfect for an Apple competitor. I'd love to see how this chipset will perform in the real world. I do believe Samsung or Google are attempting to make such a device to compete, and we can see a Samsung versus Apple competition with these kind of business premium expensive headsets. It's what a time to be alive. I'm really curious to see what happens. And speaking of the Apple Vision Pro, which is supposed to drop on February the 2nd, that will be my 13-year anniversary, not on the channel, with the wife. And reports are claiming the headset's production numbers are only going to be around the 100K mark, so there's not actually going to be too many in the wild, so watch out for scalpers and reselling of these devices for an extortionate price beyond what they're already selling. But Apple looks to be very cautious with this market test. It is one of their most complicated products yet, and if you're going to grab one, apparently, you'll have to use Face ID for the purchase, and they claim this is so they can provide you with accessories to provide a better fit for your face and head. Not something we haven't seen before. Big Screen did this with their headset, but it was much more custom, some custom molding for your face to get a really great fit. But that was just an FYI, but I've got some stories now kind of around the state of VR. I saw this story on Zenith, the RPG MMO, that blew up when it first launched. It was incredibly profitable, everyone was very excited to play the game, but it had a really large drop-off, and they've recently stated that they've been running the game at a loss for nearly a year. They have been releasing updates to try and get people back into play, but it hasn't worked out. They said they're going to make more changes in the next update to make the game more sustainable, which I think is a great idea, and it seems to be like a VR curse. You know, we play something, it's very exciting, and you want to move on to the next thing. Not many communities stick around, except for, well, Gorilla Tag or some FPS shooters that do extremely well. And the other side of this as well is Eye of the Temple was not profitable before it came to the Quest platform. The game recouped only 40% of its investment on Steam, but it was then ported to the Quest and it achieved 140% of that initial investment, and 70% of that was from Quest sales. So I think maybe the kind of game that Zenith is being online required support at a different level, ongoing support, ongoing engagement for the game to be a success. And it's incredibly tough in the VR space to do that. It's hard to do it in the flat screen space. It's even harder in this one. The investment, the infrastructure that's needed, it was a challenge. And for me, it at least highlights that a game in VR that's going to adopt this style of play should really have natural growth and evolve into such a thing. But then, it's a tough call. Are we going to see games like this ever again? They're few and far between. It's just, I don't know, it's just this kind of, these couple of stories just kind of made me ponder a bit. And finally, a confusing one and an annoying one, because someone had to be the first and break the mold. Is this the beginning of the end? I'm just being a little bit dramatic, but I am shocked that the Quest 3 gets an exclusive title already. So it's only available to play on the Quest 3 on the Quest platform, and it's not the kind of title you would expect. It's Townsman VR. This is the first Quest 3 exclusive, as you can't play it on the Quest platform on any other device, but you can play it on PC and PlayStation though, so it's not a true exclusive. Meta told us that we wouldn't have any exclusive titles for the Quest 3 until 2024, and they were not wrong. Just a few days. Talisman VR is a city builder experience. You look down on the world, watch the little people in their little houses, doing little things. And it's actually a pretty interesting title, the kind of game at first glance you're on the fence about, but if you have experience with the kinds of games, you know that once you get up and running, you are so addicted. I don't think many Quest 3 exclusives will be dropping soon unless they are funded by Meta though. it must have been absolute necessity for this game in some fashion, because the amount of Quest 2s out in the wild is crazy. That's a huge amount of income that you're missing out on if you decide to go Quest 3 exclusive rather than Quest 3 enhanced. So that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. It helps me out massively. I've been doing this for a while. We are on the road to 100k. It would be an absolute dream. I hope you have a great week. Happy gaming. Good day.